KORK North Bay, your source for news and happenings throughout the North Bay.
Hello and thanks for watching KORK North Bay TV. Coming up is our weekend wrap covering all the news stories and happenings that took place over the weekend throughout the greater San Francisco North Bay. In Santa Rosa on Wednesday last week at about 8 o'clock in the morning, a four-vehicle accident took place on Highway 101 that proved to be fatal for one of the drivers. According to the CHP, the incident started when a Hyundai Sonata was traveling northbound on 101 near the Highway 12 crossover and apparently didn't see that traffic ahead had slowed way down and it slammed into the back of a Ford Escape. Behind the Hyundai Sonata was a big Chevy utility truck who then slammed into the back of the Hyundai, causing massive damage and enough inertia to then push both the Hyundai and the Ford Escape into another Hyundai in the lane next to them, causing even more damage. Tragically, the impact from the Chevy utility truck hitting the back of the first Hyundai caused fatal injuries to the Hyundai's driver, who was pronounced deceased at the scene. No one else involved in this accident were injured. The crash caused the closure of multiple northbound lanes of the highway for about 2 hours. During that time, traffic was routed off the highway until the scene was able to be cleared. Our condolences go out to the deceased person's family. In Fairfield on Wednesday last week, a high school graduation ceremony went from a happy celebration to panic and terror as gunshots rang out, which struck 3 innocent people and was tragically fatal for a 4th person. This incident took place in the parking lot of Fairfield High School during a graduation ceremony for a continuation high school being held at the same location, when suddenly multiple shots rang out as a shooter opened fire. At the time, there was about 1,000 people attending the ceremony, but regardless of that, the shooter opened fire, striking an 11-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 25-year-old, who were all transported to the hospital and are all now listed in stable condition. Tragically, an 18-year-old was also hit, which proved to be fatal. There aren't a lot of details being released from the Fairfield Police Department as this investigation continues for finding out who the shooter was, but from what we've been able to gather, at this time, it appears that the 18-year-old who was killed at the scene was one of the graduates of the ceremony, who was identified as Hamario Baker. Police response was immediate and in full force, which included helicopters and every other resource available to find out who the shooter was and to get him into custody as quickly as possible. But as of this time, the identity and the whereabouts of the suspect is still unknown. Our deepest condolences go out to Mr. Baker's family. In Petaluma on Saturday at about 1:15 in the afternoon, a vehicle crash took place along Highway 101 that ejected 2 people from the vehicle, sending all 3 involved to the hospital. This incident took place on the southbound side of 101, just north of East Washington Street. According to the CHP, a 19-year-old woman driving a GMC Acadia was speeding down the highway, dangerously weaving in and out of traffic, when she finally lost control and slammed into the back of a semi-truck, which sent the SUV rolling over multiple times and colliding with another vehicle. The rollover ejected a 19-year-old driver and an adult male passenger. A 15-year-old male passenger was also in the vehicle but was not ejected during the rollover. The adult male passenger who was ejected along with the driver was in bad enough condition that CPR had to be given to him at the scene. All 3 were transported to Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital for treatment. The 15-year-old boy was treated and released, but the adult male who needed CPR is in critical condition. The 19-year-old woman driver was also treated, but she wasn't released because it was determined that she was under the influence of alcohol, so she was arrested and booked into Sonoma County Jail for DUI charges causing injury. Just outside of Vallejo along Highway 37, a driver with what CHP says was a blood alcohol level of more than 3 times the legal limit crashed his car and was hauled off to jail after having to be rescued. This incident took place just west of Vallejo, past Mare Island, heading westbound on Highway 37 towards Sonoma County, when the driver of a red convertible Mustang apparently fell asleep at the wheel and veered off the highway, ending up in the mucky, marshy water along the side of the highway. The driver was stuck in his car until the Vallejo Fire Department could get there, who used a ladder to form a makeshift bridge for the guy to get back to dry land. The reason he couldn't get out and walk to the highway himself in such shallow water is because the mud in that marshy water is very deep and gushy like mud quicksand, and he would have for sure gotten himself in an even worse situation. The driver told police that he swerved to miss an animal in the road, But witnesses driving behind him told police that there was no animal and that he nodded off and drifted over the side of the roadway, ending up in the marshy water. An officer performed a breathalyzer test, and the guy blew a 0.25% blood alcohol level, which is just slightly more than 3 times the legal limit. So he was arrested and given a ride by a sober police officer to Solano County Jail. Thankfully, no one was injured or worse in this incident. In the Lake County town of Lucerne, multiple gunshots rang out in the early hours of the morning near a mobile home park, leaving one man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. This incident took place on Tuesday at about 3:30 in the morning when the sound of multiple gunshots woke up residents in the Country Club mobile home park, who began calling 911 to report the incident. When sheriff's deputies arrived and began checking the area, they located a resident suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, so he was transported to an out-of-the-area hospital that's better equipped to handle such wounds. At last report, he was listed in stable condition. Residents in the area were able to give officers a good description of the vehicle involved with the shooting, so they immediately went to work searching the area. Well, it didn't take long for them to spot the vehicle traveling along Highway 20, so they pulled the vehicle over. The driver, who was identified as 29-year-old Mark Julian Nas, a resident of Lucerne, was taken into custody without incident and booked into Lake County Jail on charges of attempted murder and is being held on $400,000 bail. There was no information on what led up to the shooting or what Nas's motive might have been for shooting the victim. If anything more comes out about it, we'll bring it to you. The police department in the Lake County town of Lakeport is trying to alert residents and business owners in the area about a scam going on that's trying to get people to pay for fake invoices. According to the report, a worker for the Cinema on the Shore event contacted Lakeport police to report that they had received an invoice requesting a $4,900 payment to be made by a wire transfer for services that they never ordered, used, or received. Scammers do this to businesses, hoping whoever is paying their bills just pays them without really checking to see what they're exactly for. Many businesses get scams like these for their website domain name renewals by companies that their domain name isn't even registered through, in hopes of receiving a $20 to $40 renewal check by an accounts payable employee who has no idea who their website domain name is registered through, so they just write the check and send it off because the scam invoices look really legitimate. Well, a similar scam is happening to people and businesses around the Lakeport area, so the police department is trying to alert everyone to double check what an invoice might be for before automatically just paying it. The department says if you receive one of these scam invoices, to please contact them to report it. Unfortunately, oftentimes these scammers are in other countries and use electronic wire transfers or couriers from out of the area to pick up checks at local P.O. boxes and are rarely caught. This broadcast is sponsored by Mike Larbury Automotive. 5-star ratings for all of your domestic and import automotive repair needs, located on Highway 12 in Sonoma. Mention you saw them here on KORK TV to receive a special discount. And also by Sonoma Paint Center, your source for all of your home and automotive paint and supply needs.
Transform your home or business with Sonoma Paint Center. As your local Benjamin Moore retailer, we've got everything you need to paint inside and out, plus top quality stains. Step inside our Santa Rosa location or visit us in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now our newest location in Napa. From vibrant colors to durable finishes and required supplies, we'll help you bring your vision to life. Sonoma Paint Center, serving you in Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now Napa. Sonoma Paint Center, color your world.
Well, that's it for a weekend wrap. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again on Friday for our weekly wrap. Remember, you can watch us on our website at KORKTV.com or on our YouTube channel. Just search for KORK North Bay TV. And if you watch us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe to us. We'd sure appreciate it. We'd like to wish everyone a safe, happy, and healthy week. Thanks for watching.